So I am Monica with Anywhere But Here Travel, and I welcome you guys to our new presentation tonight. It's specifically about the Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. We did this last month, or no, August. It was at the end of August, wasn't it? And we threw out a couple of itineraries out there for people to look at, and this is the one that I got a lot of interest on, and it just was in the last presentation. That itinerary was a little bit too long for people to make a commitment with. So this is the one that the travel gals have decided, this is the one we are going to go on, and if you think that we're fun and awesome, because we are, you're going to want to go with us. So here we go. So thank you very much for coming. Oh wait, where's my slide not advancing? Come on, there we go. Okay. Okay, so this is basically just our agenda tonight. It's really going to be quick. My part is really quick. I'm just going to show you who we are, and I have a little housekeeping items, and I have a couple of questions that I want to ask people. We'll get to the presentation with Sandy, and after that presentation, I will kind of go into a little bit more detail about how our travel agency works and the offers that we have for you tonight. So let me see if this will work to go to the next slide. Yay! This is us. So you can see all of our faces on the video chat here as well, but these are the people that make up Anywhere But Here Travel. These are your travel gals. So there is Kara on the left, and there's me in the middle. Tia is the one standing up, and Andrea is off to the right. So we all have kind of our, specialties and things that we like to work on, but really we all work together as a team. So if you're booking your travel with us, you get all of us. So at some point in the trip, you will have contact with each and every one of us, even if it's just in the background and you don't ever know about it. For sure, we all work together as a team. So this is Anywhere But Here Travel. And so who do we help? If this looks like you when you're trying to plan your travel, then you definitely need our help with your travel planning. We love the part of planning your travel. Some people love it, actually, and that's totally fine. You can plan your travel, and you can still have us assist you and support you through your vacation. So, I'm hearing lots of dings and things, so sorry if I get a little distracted there. But anyways, we do help, we typically help busy professionals and families by giving them the time to do the stuff that they love. Maybe it's spending time with their family, maybe it's going to church, maybe it's your knitting group. Like, some people just don't want to do the travel. They just want to travel. They just don't want to plan it. So this is kind of who we help. Again, so we create amazing vacation experiences by personalizing your vacation and honeymoons for busy professionals and families. And we just save you the time and money and stress. And so we just really, really help take that frustration out of the vacation planning. These are just some of the amazing travel experiences that we have helped our clients with. These are some of our client photos that they've shared with us while they've been on vacation. We've taken people all around the world. The most recent one was the couple there that went on the bridge climb in Sydney, Australia. But there's, I see Mexico in there, I see Hawaii, I see Italy, I see the Netherlands. So, we go help people all over the world. So this is just a little bit of housekeeping. After the event, if you have shared with us your correct email address, which obviously we had a little issue with that with some of the people who registered, had a little issue with that. But obviously, if you're here, we have your email address. So we will send you a detailed itinerary after the presentation, along with a couple other documents and kind of summarize what we talked about tonight. And if you choose to stay on our mailing list, we will continue to update you and invite you to our upcoming travel events. Right now, we're doing a bunch of virtual vacations with another travel partner. So what was the one today? We went on the Aranui in Tahiti, which is a small ship cruise in Tahiti. Last week was, I don't remember. Next week is Taiwan. So, you know, and here are some of the examples of where we've highlighted before: Bali, Japan, Australia, Africa. And there's a bunch of recordings that we would be happy to share with you. They're all really easy to access. We also have a couple of Italian cooking classes that we are going to be hosting here at the end of October and in November. So we would love to have you, totally free, fun. And we're going to talk about Italy, of course, because we're going to be cooking some Italy dishes. And then again, in case you guys missed the thing that we said before, everybody who joins should be muted by default. You can unmute yourself if you want to ask a question. We do encourage participation, but you can also use the chat, which is a great feature for us to make sure that we're getting the questions answered that you might have when we are doing the presentation. And basically, we love your feedback at the end. So then here are my questions. So I'm just curious. This helps us a lot, actually. You know, I'd love to know if there's been anybody here that has been to New Mexico before. I have not. So that would be a great question. And then have you been on a Mayflower tour before?
I've been to the festival.
You've been to the festival, okay.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's where, so obviously you've been to New Mexico then before. So that is definitely on, I think, Tia's bucket list, and it's something that I've been intrigued about for a long time as well. So would also love to know if you've ever been on a Mayflower tour before. And then we would love to know how you like to typically travel. Do you like to cruise? Do you like guided vacations? Are you an independent traveler? You know, those are great things to, like, you feel free to pipe up and answer them now or answer them in the chat. I'll copy these and into the chat, and you guys can answer those later. But we would love to know a couple of those things. And we were going to go ahead and turn over the show to Sandy. I'm going to stop my share.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay,
let you take over, Sandy. And I'm going to try to find those questions.
Okay, and I'm going to bring us back. Let's see. Can you guys see me? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yay. Well, first off, I want to say it is absolutely a pleasure to be here again with you ladies tonight. And, you know, I often say something about travel. Travel is a bonding thing. It's a union. It is a union of understanding. It's a union of people. Even when we solo travel, you know, it's probably some of the most profound relationships we develop, right? And so one of the things that I always think is important to share is that, you know, it isn't just the travel that you see here, but like the work I get to do with you ladies, you know, in planning these kinds of experiences. It's as exciting and, you know, bonding, I guess. So while I'm not with you up there in Washington, I am very close to you here in these experiences. So it makes me super excited.
And you've always been so fun to have every time we talk to you. So thank you, Sandy.
Well, you know, I try. So now, I think it was your aunt, right, who said you've been, don't we have somebody in the audience tonight that's been on this trip?
Yeah,
right?
I think that was Gail.
Okay, good. Gail, if I've said
she's been to the
wrong,
festival.
Oh, good. Yeah. Feel free, you know, to correct me. Well, I'll have a little fact checker that'll be sitting here at the bottom somewhere. But, you know, I do want to give a little moment to just maybe frame who is Mayflower, because Mayflower and Anywhere But Here Travel are working together to bring forward this opportunity. And so it's fun to kind of share a little bit of background about us. We are actually, you guys, gosh, we are 43 years old as an organization. So we're considered one of the older tour operators, you know, here in this country. And excitingly, you know, I will say our roots are built upon North American travel. That is our heritage. It's where we began everything that we do in travel those 43 years ago. We were started by a couple, and so we're very much a family-owned organization, you know, with that kind of a culture, you know, as a part of us. I'm actually located here in the Pacific Northwest with you all. And I don't know, in fact, that's something I'd love to hear in the chat. Where is everybody from? Are we all, because I know last time we all talked that we had people from all over. So
that's true.
It'd be fun to see where everybody's coming from. But,
yep.
You know, we are locally based, and so that makes it exciting in the planning, because I have the opportunity to, you know, be supportive to you all. But also even to really reflect upon what does it mean to be locally based, and understand the kind of interest everybody has, you know, from where we are in our part of the world. You know, we are, I would say, a very solid 4-star provider. I wouldn't put us in the 5-star category, you know, entirely, but I also am not going to put you through any kind of roughing it. These are experiences that are fully, you know, defined and escorted travel. This is kind of, I call it thinkless travel. I don't know what the word is, but it's the best kind of travel. It's the kind where you don't have to really take on that responsibility of all the tiny little details that make a trip as perfect as it needs to be. And so we take on that responsibility with Anywhere But Here travel, and we make sure it just all comes together very smoothly. And that includes everything from getting you on that plane and taking off to arriving, handling your luggage. All of this is taken care of for you, as well, even in the guiding, you know, something about an escorted trip, you know, we like, I know for all of us, we're very multidimensional. We like to travel in a variety of ways. And so sometimes it's solo travel. Sometimes it's with just, you know, a family member or a group of friends. Sometimes it's in a bigger experience. And, you know, we're group travel. And part of the thing that I think is so fabulous about group travel, I have a bit of an addiction to it, because I think, and this is just my take on this, guys, but I find that it is an opportunity. I think you learn from others, and it becomes as profound in the relationships that you all develop together during the travel experience as what you're taking in with the environment around you. And I think in guided travel, what's the difference in a guided trip? Well, you get more insight into an area that you've not seen or been in before, you know, and sometimes I can tell you, even on the Columbia River Gorge, which we have right here in Oregon, what I've gained in the guided experiences about the gorge versus what I would have just driven right by and had no idea, right? It's a lot of, this is the, oh my gosh, I had no idea kind of experience, you know?
That's so true.
So that is something that I really relish in, and I hope you guys do too. I do want to give a nod to kind of the series that you have at play right now, because I think one of the things for 2021, as we've all said when we started this talk tonight, is it's going to be a darn good year. We all know this. It's coming. The world is going to right itself. It's going to be amazing. But one of the opportunities, you know, it's kind of glass half full, half empty. One of the opportunities to me is the magic of what we have in our own backyards, guys. I mean, like, you know, I always laugh at, sometimes we'll get on these flights for 14 hours and, you know, take off to go see this wonder somewhere else in the world. And yet we have the wonders in our own backyard. And so this is a series for Anywhere But Here travel. And so this is a way, you know, if not Albuquerque, there's some other options, but we are going to feature this year the New England Rails and Sails, which was in the last time we all gathered together. And I don't know if any of us were with me on that first talk, but that's a possibility. I just want to make a, you know, mention of this. National parks, guys, are hot. And of course, outdoor experiences. So Yellowstone and Jackson Hole is planned for next summer for you all. And so that's another opportunity. And then as well, as Monica mentioned, really this balloon fiesta came out of the planning of this trip, which was a 12-day experience with 6 national parks and the balloon fiesta. And as you said, it's really difficult for people sometimes to get away for that long. So, so what we've done now is really focused on precisely the Albuquerque Balloon Festival. So that's this trip. And as Monica shared, the travel gals are going on this trip with you guys. So I'm going to imagine there's going to be lots of stories to be told, is what I'm thinking.
We're going to have a lot of fun.
Maybe stories that weren't even written in the original itinerary. Some stories will stay in Albuquerque too. No, so, you know, I have a question if people can put in the chat. I'm not always going to be able to see the chat as we're going through this, but I'd love to know, I know I asked you guys where you were all from, but do we have any photographers in the group or people who have a love affair with photography? It'd be interesting to hear, you know, your thoughts, because this is kind of one of those trips that is a bucket list thing for photography for sure. And so, you know, I want to make sure I give you the opportunity to kind of share with me a little bit about even why you are interested, why you're here tonight. I would love to hear that. I'm going to play 2 videos for us because I am a believer that, as you know, travel is a 4-dimensional experience. I can't give you 4-dimensional right now, so we're in fantasy travel, Mayflower and anywhere but here way. But I am going to try to give you 2 dimensions, and I have 2 videos, and I'm going to give you a heads up. If your sound is too loud, I don't want to blow everybody's ears thing, just turn your sound down on your computer, because sometimes we notice that with some people's computers, the sound was a little louder than it should be. But this is a take in and inhale, take in and exhale, and just get a sense. So let's see if I can get this to play for you guys. And there is music. Is a bit of a bucket list, and I hope the music came through for you, because I feel like this trip is sort of, it is a little reflective of that music. It's just that level of awe and eye candy, and there's something, you know, slow and soft about the way the balloons rise. There's just a feeling, and I don't even have any words, so I'm going to not ramble over myself, but I will say this is one of those trips. It's one of those trips. Now, it is an efficient trip, guys. It's 6 days. So we're not committing to, you know, some very long, illustrious experience. We are 6 days. It includes meals where you want the meals to be included, but it also leaves you to have freedom for meals that you want to go out for, or you want to explore an area a little bit more and make your own choices. And then also, I love this, because we all know we've been on these trips where you're packing and unpacking and packing and unpacking. This is 2 hotels. We are 3 nights in the first hotel. We are 2 nights in the next hotel. So we get the chance to kind of settle in, not feel as hurried in the experience in that way. And we are going to be starting, you know, here in the heart of New Mexico and Albuquerque. And, I gotta say, Albuquerque to me, is sort of, it's the showcase for the Southwest. It's actually one of the oldest cities in the United States. Did you all know this? Because I always say New England. See, I think New England is old everything, right? But apparently not. Albuquerque is actually considered one of the older cities of the U.S. And then it also voiced the unique multicultural history. There is a lot of heritage that we find in New Mexico, really deep, rich heritage. I think the way we find it here in the Pacific Northwest as well. But it does have a lot of stories to tell, and including even the Route 66. Guys, on this trip, you even have a touch point with Route 66 if you haven't ever been on Route 66. Now, I want to give you an idea of where we're staying. Like, well, okay, so sometimes, a lodge is just a lodge and we're out to do the experience. Sometimes the lodge is part of the story and the experience is part of the story, and it's kind of a plus plus. I will say in this trip, I think it is that plus plus. You're gonna enjoy your lodging as much as you're enjoying what it is you're doing. Now, Best Western, as you all know, and especially if you've traveled in a lot of the national parks and such, they really have got their fingers on, these very authentically rich kind of, I don't know, like they're almost sometimes the old Yellowstone type lodges. They definitely, I always say, don't look at the name, because sometimes they are quite beautiful places. And this particular lodge, guys, is right in the heart of Old Town Albuquerque. So you're literally walking distance from all the sights and sounds of Albuquerque that you really want to go and delve into. It's actually considered one of the favorite hotels. It's been there for over 50 years, so it's sort of a heritage hotel as well. And it's rustic, but yet it has that gorgeous Southwestern feel. So I do want to give a moment to talk about it, just because I think it is important as it sets the scene for the kind of experience that we're looking for. You can walk to the museums from here, guys. You're going to be able to walk to your eateries from here. Lots of shopping. This trip, like if we were scoring shopping, I would say I'm going to give this trip like a 7. It's got to have like maybe even an 8. I don't know. So if you're a shopper, there's a little bit of opportunity in this. And so, why are we here? What is this about? What are we going to see? What can we expect? I got to say, I didn't get to see yet who's telling me about your love of photography. If you are an iPhone picture taker, you're going to get some freaking awesome, pictures.
That would be Andrea. She said she's not the greatest photographer, but she's got her cell phone.
Oh yeah, and this is where you lie and you tell people that you had the biggest equipment ever, and you're like, oh yeah. Oh, it took me hours to get this shot. But if you do have the gear, guys, this is really worth your photography equipment. This is definitely one of these trips you bring it with you, all of your lens, all the good stuff, because you're going to use it. I call it the 5,000 photo trip. You got to have the extra memory cards and all. I want to give you a little history of the balloon Fiesta, because it's kind of a crazy story, actually. It started in 1972, and it was a celebration for a radio, like a radio commentator. It was a 50th anniversary birthday celebration. No, it was not anniversary. It was a birthday celebration for this broadcaster, this radio broadcaster. And here's the crazy thing. Like, I always laugh how things unfold. And if he could have seen in that moment what this was to become, how crazy is this? He had a friend. His friend's name was Sid Cutter. And Sid owned a flying service. And he was the first person in all of New Mexico to own a hot air balloon, like an actual hot air balloon in all of New Mexico. And so for the 50th birthday celebration of this radio guy, they had him bring out his hot air balloon, and they did, this hot air balloon, something to kind of in honor of this 50th birthday. And it was such a thing, became such a thing. And this is again, 1972, that 1 year later, they got together and it became the Albuquerque hosted its first World Hot Air Balloon Championship. So in 1973 is really when this thing caught wind. Haha, do you like the pun on words? I'm gonna try. It's a little, you know, I don't know if I have it tonight, but we're gonna give it a shot. And what was also interesting is they used to run this in the winter. It was in February is when these early balloon festivals were being hosted. And today it's actually the largest balloon convention in the world. So this isn't just an event for us here as North Americans and as you know, here in the US as something for us to look at, but this is a global event for which we have audiences from all over the world. So this is one of those moments where they took the 14-hour flight to come and have the experience firsthand. And let's see if I get my forward here. In this experience, I'm gonna use Coachella because I'm trying to think of like other big festival-y things. So put in your head whatever festival you've ever had an experience with. There's multiple events within the big event, right? It's not just a event. It's a whole lot of different kinds of things that are happening, sometimes simultaneously and evolving over the course of time. And so we're going to really highlight and experience those parts and pieces. Again, Gail, I think it was you that said you were at this in the past. This is an opportunity to kind of see these big moments of what I think people come to see in this. And it's a 9-day festival, you know, from beginning to end. So on day 2, guys, we hit the ground running. You are up mighty early. So I'm just going to tell you, ready? This is where maybe the first night you don't have that extra cocktail, you might hold back. You have breakfast between 4 and 5 in the morning. I know, just take it in for a second. I know, a vacation, what are you talking about? But you're gonna love me for this because you are there on the field by about 5:30, 5:45. And why are we getting there so darn early? We are getting there before the sun comes up. So you are excitingly awake before the sun comes up. Let's just get excited about that, in fact. I don't know about you, I'm not a morning person. But you're gonna be greeted at a hospitality tent. So we do have a space for you, a private space. You have access to like pastries and coffee and juice. And so there's kind of a gathering area for us that is kind of unique and gives you some access. Basically what's happening in the mass ascension is we are essentially witnessing a launch of balloons, all the participating balloons, that it kind of is reminiscent of even those early days, you know, in that this is considered by some, and many I would say, most spectacular display of sound and color in all of aviation. I just love that statement. The most spectacular display of sound and color in all of aviation. Now that's a statement. During the mass ascension, what we're witnessing here, guys, is it's happening in 2 waves. And we have these guys, they're called zebras. I think this is so cheap, but anyway, they're called zebras. They look like referees. They're in black and white. And they are the gatekeepers of the launch of the balloons. So the zebras are like the traffic cops. They're there to ensure that there is, you know, safety protocols that are followed as we're launching these balloons. But you're talking about a launch of about 500 to 600 balloons. That is something to see. It takes in these 2 waves about 2 hours. So we're really witnessing this over time. You know, it's not in one immediate moment. So you get to appreciate the unique individual balloons as they're taking flight. The other thing that I think is worthy of a mention here is there's a 48-year safety record of the, you know, balloon fiesta here in Albuquerque. And it's such a great safety record that we are allowed to roam and get out and go and see these balloons up close and personal and chat with the pilots. So you really roam over the acres here in this amazing field with all these balloons and their various levels of inflation, right? but chatting with the people that run these balloons. And so it's a very, you know, intimate, I guess. Here we are in this massive thing, but yet it's really intimate because you form relationships with some of these pilots as you're chatting with them, you know, as they're ready to take off. So I think that's kind of cool. I think in a lot of air stuff, you don't generally get that kind of accessibility. And like I said, there's refreshments. We have, you know, a bathroom that's kind of going to be our go-to point, so that you have kind of homing point while you're out and exploring, and really taking it all in. Of course, capturing your iPhone professional. And you know, these balloons, of course, are going over the Rio Grande, and they're just, you know, they fill the skies. So nothing I'm going to show you in pictures right now is guys going to cover. I can't give you the impression of what this is. Gail can tell us, you know. In fact, at the end, Gail, I do want to ask you to give us, you know, maybe a statement about how would you describe it? Because I think I find it hard to come up with the words. Now, this whole thing, so remember, we've had breakfast from 4 to 5 a.m. We are out the door at 5 a.m. We are picked up. We are at the field by 5:30. We begin to watch this mass ascension starting about 7. We're usually back at the hotel by 10 a.m., guys. So just to give you a timing piece here, about 10 a.m. And this is where you can go back and recapture a little bit of sleep if you want. But it also, I'm going to give you lots of time. Remember, we're in the center of Albuquerque. So this is where you can go. You can have a beautiful lunch. You can explore, you know, walk to and from the hotel, really to the museums or anything. So you're going to have this kind of free time here in the we'll say late morning, early afternoon, because we're going to regather at, let me tell you what time it is actually, because it's about 4:30, I think. We'll gather again in the lobby. We depart the hotel at 4:45-ish. And we're going to head back out. And you think, okay, well, what could possibly be different than what we saw this morning? Well, this is quite different. And again, Gail, you'll have to give us your feedback on this one too. This is called the balloon glow. And this is interesting, guys, because remember I told you this thing started in February when the Fiesta first became the championship of balloons and all of this. It was a winter event. And so it's the balloon glow, the history of this particular event of the festival is started out as a thank you by pilots of these balloons to light up their balloons for the locals that allowed this event to occur. So it was almost like a Christmas ornament thing. It was literally around the time of Christmas, and it was a locals Albuquerque thank you by the balloon pilots, which of course, as you light up these balloons, and they're all of these magnificent shapes and colors and designs, it really is like Christmas gone crazy. And so this then became a thing. And now, believe it or not, there's balloon glow events around the world. But I would say what I hear from people is this is sometimes the most singular event of the entire balloon festival that people speak to, that they say, you know, is the most spectacular of it all, because you see it in such a different, ready, pun on words, is different light. Did you get it? I know. Listen, it's late. It's Thursday. You know, who knows? Yeah. And so we're going to witness this. We're going to witness again another ascension, but we're going to see it in a different glow. And this is followed by probably one of the most spectacular fireworks shows you're ever going to see. So it's definitely a moment, a life moment. I'll call it a life moment. It'll be a memory that you'll speak to probably at every dinner party you ever go to, you know, from this point forward. And so we will be there, you know, into the early evening hours or so, and then return, of course, to the hotel. Now, for my adventurers in this group, And I hope you are all the adventurers. I hope every darn person on this call is going to do this, because I'm going to tell you that there's certain things in life you don't pass up, even if it scares the hell out of you. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. This is a just got to do it. Got to do it. We have an opportunity on day 3, and maybe this is to make notes with the travel gals too, that you can take an optional balloon ride. So it isn't just that we're going to watch the balloons and stand on the sidelines. We're going to get in the balloons and we're going to go do this ourselves. Now, it's not included. It's not actually run by Mayflower at all, okay? So we're gonna just be making sure that we get you the information you need to book this directly. There's only one provider that is sanctioned by the festival that is allowed to do this. It's called Rainbow Riders, and and I know I told you we got up early a few mornings ago or whatever. What is that, yesterday's morning? This one's really pretty brutal. You get up at 3 a.m. But so worth it, so worth it. You get up at 3 and then you make your way back to the field, and you yourself ascend. So this is a video of that, and I just thought we would all enjoy it. And again, if you have music on too loud, you might want to try to adjust your music so that I don't blast it through your ears. Amazing. Like,
oh my gosh.
I need you guys to know, I have done 2 hot air balloon rides myself over the course of my lifetime so far. And what I would say about those balloon rides, first off, you are the air. So the only noise you hear while you're in that balloon is when they're heating it, you know, that heater that goes on. But there is no wind. You have no wind in your face. There's no noise. It's a level of silence that I don't know if I've ever heard, you know, like ever heard before. I don't know how you can hear silence, but I guess you can. But like it's a surreal experience. The adventure part is the height. So, you know, you're overcoming a little bit of a height fear, but you're so enthralled, you lose that immediately and you're not freaked out about it. The second piece is when you come down, you grip a rope that's inside the basket and you kind of get into this fetal position and you're on the floor of the basket and you're holding onto this rope. And, you know, I kind of laugh. It's you have one of 2 ways that it's like a gymnast. You're either going to stick your, you know, thing and that pilot's going to get you down and you just go boop and then you're done. Or you might have it a bump and a bump and a bump bump. And either way, it's a fun as you know what. So highly recommend it. I don't even care if you have to roll it on your credit card. You will never think twice. It's, you know, it is kind of pricey. It's about $4.50, right? But it is, I don't think you should ever pass it up, is what I would say. Like, if you get the chance, it is a highlight, because I think it gives you a different perspective of what you've just seen, right? And so it sort of brings it all together. So that's a little bit about the individual air opportunities. You're going to have champagne, of course. Now, I told you, you're going to have gotten up 3 a.m. You will ascend starting at 7 a.m. like we saw the day before. So if you've done that, so you insert that adventure, but it doesn't actually, you don't have to make a choice. You don't have to say, oh, I did this balloon ride, so now I can't do the day's activities. Nope. This doesn't start until 10 a.m. So we're going to actually get a guided tour and experience of Albuquerque together. And, you know, one of the things that I think is really interesting in Albuquerque is there's a tram that is, it's called the Sandia Peak Tramway. And it runs from the base of the Sandia Mountains, which is right there on the edge of Albuquerque, the city, to the summit. And so there's this opportunity, you know, on this day to kind of see things from afar, but also kind of hone in. We're going to have a lot of free time while on this particular day. So again, if we've done these early mornings, you're going to get to kind of have some recovery time here. There's over 100 shops in Old Town. So we'll definitely have the opportunity to explore that. One of the other experiences, and I kind of mentioned this as we started, you know, I think when we visit these different geographical areas of the country, and we all know this, especially for you guys up in the Northwest, you know, with our heritage in this part of the country, we really get to do deep dives and to understand the cultures that were before us. And this museum is extraordinary. It is, I don't know, Gail, if you've also been to this museum, but it is phenomenal. You really get to do a real exploration of the 19 pueblos and just the heritage of what makes New Mexico, New Mexico. But in addition to that, this is actually where we're going to also have this experience of fine dining. They have one of we'll say one of the more renowned restaurants in the region that's going to give you this really beautiful dinner, very artfully done, you know, just very locally based, sourced foods and things. And that is going to be followed by a Native American dance troupe. So it's a very festive, it's a festive evening, a festive experience. So by this point in the trip, you've taken in this amazing balloon thing, you've had this crazy balloon adventure. And then now we're kind of bringing it into that context of, you know, modern day in the past at the same time. And really that sort of gives us our, we'll say culmination, for a lack of another word, of Albuquerque, because we're actually the next morning we're heading out, and I don't think you can go to New Mexico and not see Santa Fe. I'd love to know how many people have been to Santa Fe in the group. I'd be interested to hear. I got to tell you, I have a love affair with Santa Fe, and here's my love affair. I like Kiva fireplaces. If I could have a house that a Kiva fireplace would work in, I would do it. I have a Victorian, so Kiva would look really weird in this. But that adobe architecture of Santa Fe, it just is, it's so epic in the sense that it really gives you a sense of where you are. It's a sense of place. Now, Santa Fe, here was what I didn't know. So here's another moment where travel teaches you something. I always thought of Denver as the Mile High City, and that's like, you know, I don't know, the high city. Santa Fe actually is, Denver has nothing on it. Santa Fe is 7,199 feet above sea level. Did you all know this? It's the highest in the nation. I did not know that. I don't know why, I don't know, just it never occurred to me. So kind of interesting. It is an art mecca. So this is really where we're really honing in on the artistry and the interest there. It's got a killer cuisine, you know, kind of, what do you want to say? Killer cuisine, feel to it, like as far as the eateries, very, you know, incredibly dynamic eateries, very visually vibrant as well. And so we are going to spend some time here in Santa Fe. And as I said to you before, you know, we're kind of planting it. And in this lodge, we can already tell, right? You've just gone on vacation right now, haven't you? Like, this is it. Just give me that fruity cocktail next to the swim up bar and I'm in. This is, there is hotels and then they're just hotels, and then sometimes they're not hotels. This is considered New Mexico's largest entertainment hotel, actually. It's vibrant, spectacular, as you can see. It is locally inspired, so it really has the feel of Santa Fe and gives you that, again, that almost, you know, sense of where you are. It's really showing you, and your experience is showing you where you are. It kind of merges that excitement and glamour of like Las Vegas, let's say, you know, with the relaxing ambiance. So it's more of a spa-like experience, I would describe it as. This is a large location, guys. It's 587 acres. So there is a lot to explore just in and of itself, just in this place that you're staying. Of course, we're going to explore it, but then we're going to keep exploring because that's what we do on these trips. We're going to really take in the architecture again. And, you know, you'll see themes that we already saw in Albuquerque, of course, in Santa Fe. But, you know, every building, every, you know, little nook and cranny really has a story to tell. And one of the crazy stories, I think, is this visit to a chapel, which you go, oh, interesting, a chapel. Yeah. This was built, guys, in the 1800s. And here is the deal with the chapel. Ready? Here's the story. It is essentially, it is the staircase that's going to be the epicenter of why we're at the chapel. And I know that you have wanted to sign up for a trip to see a staircase. It has been on your goals and your bucket list for years.
How did you know?
Thinking, finally, a trip to look at a staircase. I can do it. No. All right, here's the deal about the staircase. They don't know who built the staircase. And like I said, it's built in 1878. They don't know who built it. They don't know the wood that it's made of still today. They don't know the wood. They don't know who built it. And the engineering of it in itself is also an amalgamy to engineers. And you might see up here at the top, it's like the choir, you know, it's where the choir was. And they had this big challenge when they were building this to not take up the space below and get these people up to the choir area. But it's just an interesting story. And so I'm not doing it justice, but I can tell you that you'll walk away and be like, huh, well, that was fascinating. So we're going to visit the architecture of Santa Fe. And then we're also going to spend some time, you know, Santa Fe, like a lot of places in the world and here at home, we have these central locations, right? There's a center of that area. And this is really the governor's palace. And the palace of the governors was constructed. This location that we're seeing the outside here was constructed in 1610. 1610. And it essentially, the whole north side of this governor's palace. So here it's the longest running public building in the US, actually. So I should say that before I even tell us what's happening in this picture. The governor's palace is the longest running, what did they say? The oldest public building in the United States that's been in continuous use since 1610. But what's interesting about this is you see all these vendors. Again, this is where we get our shopping on. There is a Native American vendors program that has been going on in this location for 6 decades, so 60 years. And it's a lottery system that's drawn every morning that determines what vendors are allowed to set up. So it's if you've been to the open market in Portland, you know, we don't have a lottery for those vendors, but in this case, it's one of the largest native markets, you know, in the country. And so there's a lot to see. It's, you know, a lot to explore. You bring an extra suitcase because that's kind of what we do. But it'll be a grand experience as well. So we're going to have some time here to explore not only the history of the buildings and the architecture of the center of town of here in Santa Fe, but also, again, a little bit of the artistry and the excitement there. Our final day, we're going to actually veer off. We're not going too far, actually, from Santa Fe. We're going to, it's just outside the city here, but it's called the Pecos National Historic Park. And this will be about, I want to say, between a 3 and 4 mile hike. It's on level ground. We're not going to exhaust anybody in this or anything, but it's a historic park. So yes, it has the wonderful junipers and some of the natural, wonders of things. It's kind of situated in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. So if you're familiar with this area and you've been around here, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it is the most western location of the Civil War. So there is some really interesting history that we're going to get a visor into. It also has a few pueblos that are remaining. So we're going to learn a little bit again about the history of the Pueblo peoples and just really getting to see the Pecos Valley, because that's where we're in. And so we're going to have this bit of natural history that kind of brings it all back together. And in the evening, it'll be our final night. So here's what I imagine is happening in our final night. It's likely that maybe you might be enjoying a cocktail or two. It's probably also likely that you're together comparing pictures, and maybe there's even a little contest going on about who captured what shot and who really ultimately got the best shot. But I imagine it's going to be I know, since I've been with you now twice, I know it's going to be a little raucous. We'll make sure we tell the restaurant and your guide a little bit about you ladies. But that'll be our final evening. And so we'll reflect on all these crazy Southwestern experiences we've had. There are some exciting things. And I'm going to say there's some exciting things in travel, especially as anyone would know. Travel's come to this sad pause, if it may, at a level that's never been seen, right? And so what is happening for you as travelers is it's giving you an opportunity to receive discounts that maybe you wouldn't get otherwise. And so this is an opportunity here as you have attended this event tonight with us. It's $200 per couple is the reduction of pricing here, guys. It's $100 per person, but this is if you register by November 30th. So you'll want to make sure when you register, and Monica and Tia and the team will make sure that notes are placed on your reservations. But this is a bit of a nice little discount that goes towards this. And this gives you a little bit about the pricing. This is everything included, all your meals, your activities, your guiding. You're going to have guest speakers that'll come and be speaking to you at times. Your hotels, absolutely stunning, both locations. So this will give you a little bit about that. Again, this is in October, so it's a beautiful time of year. And the other thing I wanted to say, and I didn't talk about this last time, actually, Monica and the team, because I don't know, I didn't think to talk about it. But I do want to tell people about this, because if you do an insurance and you do a traveler's protection plan, there is literally no risk to you. You can cancel 24 hours before departure because you didn't like your hair, and you're really safeguarded. And I think it's important to say, because I know we're all so uncertain, like, how do we plan ahead? How do we get on with life, right? But yet we want to be kind of safe about it. Mm-hmm. So this protects you, both land and air, and it's something that I bring up because it really does allow you to kind of do that planning without being worried, right? If something were to change. So that is the story. Wait, let's see, ladies, 7:59? Saying. I hope that's been of interest to you guys. I hope this has been, exciting. I'm eager now to see any of the comments. So can we open it up for a few minutes to questions? And
no, there was a lot of chatter while you were talking, so that was great. Yeah, there was, I think Gail chimed in about maybe getting roped into helping out during the liftoff, and make sure to save your pennies for that balloon ride, and people are excited. So it looks like Gail didn't get to Santa Fe or Taos, so that's maybe a reason why she should come along with us.
Yeah.
And there's a couple people that are packing extra suitcases for all those goodies.
Okay, good. And they are some seriously good goodies.
Yeah.
If you're into jewelry or pottery, those open air markets are amazing.
They look amazing. How exciting. Tia, you're going to need 2 extra suitcases, honey.
And you can probably ship back. Let's be real. You can get this stuff boxed up.
Good idea.
I need that just for the jewelry.
Yeah. No kidding.
Good idea. I'm excited. It's just I want to go right now. This sounds like so much fun. Well, not right now, but I'm happy to put my deposit down and just get on the roster and do this because it sounds like so much fun, and I'm so excited with
Do you think travel too, Andrea, is like 50% the anticipation of the trip you're going to be on, and then the trip? So like you spend the whole year getting excited about the little parts and pieces?
It's insane how much anticipation adds to that excitement. Tia and Monica and I have been doing that all month.
Yeah.
So it's just part of it. And then you go and you're just like, oh, this is so amazing. It's everything I wanted and needed. And I think this is how this trip is going to be. So I hope that some of you on here who have, listened will join us. We're going to have, we bring our own party with us between the travel gals and stuff. So we always have a good time no matter where it is, but especially here, it's going to be great.
Yes, I agree. Well, thanks again, Sandy. That was great. And I'm really glad you threw in that part about the travel protection, because that's something we always recommend to our clients, and even more so now.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you. Yeah.
Who knew?
Difference of everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I will be quick and wrap it up here. I just wanted to give you a really quick overview of how we work as a travel agency. Again, I will be following up with you guys via email as well, just so you know. But we are a fee-based travel agency. We do charge a consultation fee up front for our services. We just like to be upfront and honest. A lot of online, travel places, they still charge a fee. They just wrap it up into some package price, so you don't ever see it. So you might not think that there are fees involved, but they are. Or they're, if you go online and you see this fantastic price, well, you don't know there's the taxes, the fees, the transfers aren't included, the food, there's all this stuff that they go, oh wait, let's tack on all these other things, and this is the real price. So what we're showing you is the real price. And this is covers our time to just basically, the consultation fee covers our time to help plan your trip, and it covers our time to educate ourselves and keep up to date with what's going on in the travel world. This morning I was up at 4:30 on my second day of learning about Sweden. So I was in a Sweden travel conference. I know Tia has been on various webinars for cruises. We were on another webinar today to learn about like the Aranui, the small ship cruise in Tahiti. So we're there. We're here for you. So we're the travel experts, and that's why you're hiring us. So and the fee does depend on the type of trip that you are taking. So for this particular So what is included with that fee is if you want to have more information, just have a phone call with us. We just need to know a little bit more about your travel style, and we can determine whether or not, we're a good fit and we can help you out. These tours that Sandy has, they're super easy. It's maybe you need a little bit more. Maybe you want to add a couple more days on. Maybe you want to go a little bit early. Maybe you want to do something else, right? Maybe you want to upgrade your airfare and you want to, whatever it is, right? That's where we can help you. And that's why we just need a little phone call just to kind of review everything. That phone call is completely free. And then if you do book your travel with us, you have the complete peace of mind of having our support throughout the trip. I mean, we don't travel with you on every trip, but we are in your back pocket basically on every trip. So, and we do follow up with you when you get home. So, and you have access to our 24/7 support line. So the cost for this particular tour, this is a guided vacation, you know, everything's kind of planned out for you. So it's a $99 consultation fee. And if you don't care for, you know, this particular type of style of travel, we can customize your vacation package and come up with something completely customized for you. And that starts at $199. But wait, there's more. As a thank you for attending, we are going to give you a 20% discount on those 2 fees. So this will be good basically for the next 2 weeks. I give you until the end of the month just to have that conversation with us. And it's, you know, we'll put a note in your kind of account, and you don't have to travel by the, you know, October 31st. That just means you are ready to make a decision about traveling and going somewhere, you know, basically within the next 18 months. So, however, there's more. If you really know for sure that you want to work with us and that you need help and our assistance, we are going to take $99 off of those fees, which means the guided vacation that Sandy just presented, there's no extra cost. You just need to make a decision and contact us and get a hold of us for your discovery session. It's just a, you know, 40 minute call, super quick. We just need to find out some more information about you, and we can explain a little bit more how we work as well. So that's our information, and basically that's it. Thank you. Yay. We had to put our travel dogs. I know Isabel there popped in at some point during the presentation, but there's Linus. He's looking awfully young during that picture. Maybe I need to get a new a picture of Linus. He's grayed out now, so. But I thank you.
A little grayer now.
Sticking with us.
Well, you know, sometimes we gray people. That's what happens.
That's what happens when you get old.
And sometimes we color.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I appreciate your time, and thank you again, Sandy, for the presentation. And we will be in touch with everybody.
Oh, so excited! Thanks everybody for all this time tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you everybody for attending. I will look forward to seeing your faces in Albuquerque next October.
Oh, and I'll look forward to hearing the stories.
Yeah.
There will be stories, don't you worry.
Oh, yes, there will.
What happens in Albuquerque stays in Albuquerque.
Thank you, everybody. Sandy, thank you so much for a great presentation. And of course, the rest of the travel gals, you guys are amazing, of course. So thank you for doing all the hard work that you do to get this together for all of our wonderful guests. So
yeah.
Everyone have a wonderful night, and cheers.
Thank you, guys. This was really fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to meet you, Gail, by the way. Bye.